Hello everyone, welcome to Top 10 Character Moments. Today we're breaking down my list for the top 10 best moments of Sheev Palpatine, aka the Emperor, aka Darth Sidious. Be sure to stay tuned every Friday for my latest top 10 video. In each video, I will break down my list for a specific character's best moments and why I like them so much. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. My first subscriber goal here on this channel is to reach 150 subscribers. At the time of this recording, we're over halfway there, you guys, so I highly recommend that you call your friends, family, neighbors, let them know to subscribe to Top 10 Character Moments. And then tell them to go and subscribe to my other YouTube channel called Sector for Nerds, where I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. All right, you guys, without any further ado, let's get into some honorable mentions before cracking the top 10, shall we? Though this one, it's going to be a little bit different than what I normally do. For today's honorable mentions, I want to give a shout out to some of Palpatine's memorable and also memeable quotes. Not sure if memeable is actually a word, but screw it, here we go.
Yeah, do it. I am the Senate.
It's treason, then.
The Jedi are taking over! Execute Order 66.
I see you becoming the greatest of all Jedi, Anakin.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
I love democracy. I love the Republic.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
The dark side of the Force,
Is a pathway to many abilities.
some consider to be unnatural.
Ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself.
As once I fell, so falls the last Skywalker.
Now, without any further ado, let's get into the list itself. Here we go. At number 10, his interaction with Darth Vader in Star Wars Rebels. What I love about this scene is you don't actually see him, but you can definitely hear him. Shout out to Sam Witwer for providing the voice of the Emperor in this scene. He only shows up in a handful of episodes in Rebels, but when he does, there's a meaning as to why. In this moment, he wants to see if his apprentice has dealt with the rebels of the Lothal system. Vader informs his master that the apprentice of Anakin Skywalker lives and is working with the rebels, in which Palpatine sees an opportunity for Ahsoka to lead them to other lost Jedi. At number 9, him using Force lightning on Luke. Since the original trilogy is what I watched first growing up, this was the first time I saw the Emperor use Force lightning. The whole time I sat there thinking, well, this dude looks scary, but can he actually do any harm to Luke? Turns out he could. The scene shows you the Emperor isn't just an old man, but he's very powerful. At number 8, his interaction with Kylo Ren at the start of The Rise of Skywalker. At the start of the movie, we see Kylo Ren go to Exegol to kill Palpatine. And again, going back to the Vader conversation, you don't see him, you hear him.
At last.
Palpatine's voice alone has a presence, and it all leads up to you seeing that rotten vegetable-looking face. Number 7, stealing the life force from Rey and Ben. Throughout The Rise of Skywalker, the Emperor talks about how he wants Rey to kill him and become Empress Palpatine. And then the moment comes when he steals just a sample of their life force, and it starts to heal him. And in typical Sith fashion, Palpatine essentially says, you know what, I want all this power for myself instead. And then we get Palpatine basking in the glory of his newly healed self, with the Sith Eternal singing to him. And then there's the hand movements, which I don't know why I find so funny, but it kind of reminds me of Revenge of the Sith whenever Palpatine is talking about how the Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire for safe and secure society. I don't know, does anyone else find it funny? Probably just me. Number 6, his duel with Yoda in Revenge of the Sith. The top Sith and the top Jedi going at it? Yes, please. Sidious is in such a great mood in this fight because he's finally establishing his dominance over the galaxy. The Jedi have been mostly wiped out, the Republic is now the Empire, and he got his prized pupil, Anakin Skywalker, now Darth Vader, serving him. Though all that being said, I think he did underestimate Yoda a little bit because of all that. Beating Grandmaster Yoda was never going to be an easy task. Yoda gave Palps everything he had until the end. I wouldn't necessarily say Sidious won as much as it was Yoda ran away to survive another day. At number 5, his duel with Yoda in the Clone Wars. In the lost missions of the Clone Wars, now known as Season 6 of the animated series, Yoda travels to Moraband as part of his training given to him by the Force priestesses. While there, Sidious and Dooku find him using an ancient Sith ritual, which leads to a saber duel between Yoda and Sidious. While the duel is shown physically, it's more of a mental duel, especially for Yoda, like a Force vision kind of. Sidious does get close to breaking Yoda, but even though he doesn't, this battle foreshadows his victory over the Jedi. Yoda is left with a choice of either stopping Sidious or saving Anakin. But here's the thing, he can't stop Sidious, and even if he saves Anakin, Palpatine still gets what he wants, and that's his star pupil. But regardless, Sidious did fail in this particular moment, because he couldn't break Yoda's spirit. Surely there had to be a moment after all this where Dooku asked, hey, so what was up with Anakin chopping my head off in there? And then in Revenge of the Sith, he had to have been like, oh, that's what that was all about. At number 4, his duel with Maul and Savage. Sidious was having the time of his life during this fight because he normally doesn't get the chance to do this. Most of the Clone Wars, he's sitting in office chairs or talking to people in holograms. So when he does get to do this, there's going to be consequences for someone, and that someone was his former apprentice, Maul. When Palpatine hears from Obi-Wan that Maul was going to build an army of pirates, he basically says, let him play with his small band of pirates. It's of no relevance compared to the Separatists. Palpatine was fine with Maul playing with his scraps. And then he sees Maul building this army known as the Shadow Collective, and they take control of Mandalore, and they plan on expanding to thousands of other neutral systems and essentially build this third faction in the Clone Wars. And that's where Sidious goes, okay, Maul, I let you have your fun, but now you're getting way over your head, so now I gotta shrink you back down to size and let you know who's really in control here. And that's exactly what he does. 3. His involvement in the World Between Worlds episode of Star Wars Rebels. Sidious knows that the Jedi Temple on Lothal contains a gateway between all time and space. If he can control that, he controls the universe at all points in time. On a side note, he also knows about the Mortis gods, which is interesting. Sidious finds a way to reach the World Between Worlds, I'm assuming using a similar, if not the same Sith ritual he did with Dooku. He uses Sith alchemy to chase after Ahsoka Tano and Ezra Bridger. Lucky for them, they were able to get away, and Ezra sealed the portal before anyone, including Palpatine, could enter. Palpatine attempts to get Ezra to help him a second time using similar techniques he did with Anakin, but to no success. At number 2, execute Order 66. It's not just an iconic quote, but an iconic moment. The first time you hear Palpatine say those words to Commander Cody, you just know something terrible is about to happen, and it does. Palpatine turns the Jedi's own army against them, resulting in the destruction of the Jedi Order. We've seen that iconic phrase used in every Order 66 scene we've watched. Revenge of the Sith, Jedi Fallen Order, Clone Wars, Bad Batch, and the Kenobi series. Every time I watch an Order 66 scene, I get the same feels I got when watching Revenge of the Sith for the first time. Now, on a side note about Order 66, can we please get more scenes of Anakin in the temple killing Jedi and not just younglings? Give me his duel with Sindralig, come on now. And finally, at number 1, telling the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Yes, I know this has been memed like crazy, but forgetting all of that, this is genuinely a cool moment, because Palpatine gives us a glimpse into his past without Anakin realizing it. The only glimpse of his past we get in the movies. Plagueis taught Sidious everything he knew, and then he killed his master in his sleep. Typical Sith way, killing each other for power. I would love to see a Disney Plus series about Plagueis and Sidious training together, and what it was like for Sidious to be the apprentice. And then heck, the end of it could be Sidious killing his master. I mean, I think that'd be a cool show. So there you have it, guys. That's my list for the top 10 best Emperor Palpatine moments. Be sure to let me know in the comments below what your favorite Darth Sidious moments are and why. Also, make sure you're staying tuned every Friday for a new episode of Top 10 Character Moments, and next week I will be breaking down my list for the best moments of Drax the Destroyer. And hey, if you liked this video, maybe you'll like some of my other videos in my Star Wars Top 10 Character Moments playlist, so be sure to check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with others to help support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.